Hi, my name is Obi Daryani. I'm the Senior Brand Manager of the Everquest franchise. Welcome to the Roundtable. With me today is Lead Systems Designer Michael Mann.
Hello.
And so the question that we asked is, what combat playstyle do you want to see in Landmark? And so we've talked a little bit about combat in Everquest Next. We haven't spent a lot of time talking about it in Landmark. Just very quickly, could you give us a refresh on combat in Everquest Next?
Sure. Everquest Next, the combat is class-based, right? So you go in and you choose your class. You can swap between the classes, but when you pick one, it's going to be highly thematic, right? It's going to determine, some of your abilities and that sort of thing, and it's going to match the lore found in Everquest and Everquest Next. But it's a little different in Landmark, and so that's why we asked this question.
Because there's no classes in Landmark, right? Everyone is an adventurer.
Exactly.
And so what does that mean for combat?
So for combat, being an adventurer means that you're versatile, right? You can wear whatever items you want, and the items will actually dictate how you function, right? So when I get a weapon, the weapon will determine what abilities I have, and then I can equip armor and I can equip accessories and all sorts of stuff like that that will tailor the items, the abilities and stuff like that to play how I want them to.
Right. So I mean, we asked the question in a way that, fairly identifiably, right? There's like a ranged class, there's a mage, there's, a close combat fighter. Why did we decide to ask that question?
So we wanted to start the conversation, right? We wanted to get you guys thinking about how you like to play. What vision for your character do you have? And we start out with the simple ones and the ones that people are used to, because that's kind of where we're going to start the system, right? We're going to release with a smaller subset of weapons, and then we're going to grow it from there based on your guys' feedback and based on our conversations and how we play.
So one of the main threads throughout the forum was, talking about what about grappling hooks? Like, how does the fact that I can move around so freely affect combat?
It affects it quite a bit, right? So we are actually planning on having these movement things adjust how people play, right? So if I'm playing a guy that grapples and I get out of the way very quickly and I shoot from range, right? Or you can have the guy that is super acrobatic and he dashes or he double jumps and stuff like that. And we'll have items that actually trigger off of doing those things. And so maybe every time you dash forward, you turn invisible, right? And that's a cool guy that you want to play, and it fits the the vision you have in your head. And so it's going to affect it a lot.
So, I mean, scenarios where, like, I have a sword and shield and I'm kind of beating on you, and then I, zip back on my grappling hook and then switch over to a ranged weapon. Like, that's the kind of combat that we're experimenting with, right?
Yeah, exactly. When we talk about versatility, this is where it's at, right? So we want you to say, hey, my play style is I like to get in and get close with a sword and shield and beat up on a guy, but then when stuff gets crazy, I want to jump back and cast fireballs at them or shoot them with my bow and arrow or something like that. And we're going to start out allowing everybody to switch weapons in combat, and so it'll allow you to switch up kind of your play style pretty easily.
Yeah, and I think that's just amazing, right? Like, the amount of different ways that you'll be able to play this game and to fight each other is pretty cool.
Yeah, we're pretty excited. We're going to test it out, and we're going to be learning a lot from this system and carrying over a lot of the stuff that we learn into Everquest Next and even a lot of the systems. And so it's just a cool thing. It's something we've been planning for a long time.
Yeah, and the thing that's the most exciting to me is that you said shoot fireballs. And I think a lot of people have been wondering, like, will there be magic in Landmark?
Yeah, definitely. There'll be all sorts of magic. So we're actually in the process right now of planning, what specific magics and everything there will be. So.
Awesome. And so, like Michael said, we're going to start small and then build out from there, right? So the first thing we want to do is hear your thoughts on what we've discussed today, right? What do you think about, these different play styles, these different, mechanics, that sort of thing? And then as we roll this out, we're going to be listening to the audience to really determine where we go next. So thank you so much for joining us, Michael, and we'll see you guys next time on the Roundtable.